Welcome. What impacts married people's happiness the most? And we are continuing right along with our series. And number one, what impacts married people's happiness the most? The one that we're going to look at first is this one. I'm going to see what you think of this. My summary of this is called ranking. This is when this distills happiness. Now, again, when I say happiness, I'm talking about just the times when things are fun and good and things are pleasant and going well and light, right? One of the things that can steal happiness is when we compare our relationship, our marriage, to others. When you compare your relationship and your marriage to others. And so when I say ranking is when we look at where we are in our relationship and you look around and feel behind. You feel like, man, I'm not where they are, or where they are, or where they are. And the happiness that's going on right here and now actually goes from wherever you are, it goes to being miserable.
Right.
Even if things aren't really things are maybe, everybody got their challenges, but now the joy and the happiness are sucked out. And we absolutely can relate to that. I've seen, for anybody, if you want to take away somebody's happiness, have them compare themselves to other people. So the same way in our marriages, I know we couldn't relate to that, of course. Right?
Right.
How could we relate to that?
I remember a time where financially, I felt like you were working, I was working, we were building some things. But I was looking around at all the other couples I felt like we're like at the bottom
of the bottom.
Bottom of the bottom of all of our friends. We didn't drive. We didn't have a car. We didn't have a house. I felt like we were always like paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. And I remember feeling like, dang, what's wrong with us? And I would look at you and become complaining. I mean, I remember one time we were standing, I'm laughing now, but it really wasn't funny.
I don't think it was funny now, but go ahead.
We were standing at the bus stop and it was cold, but it wasn't freezing.
But it was cold. I remember that moment.
I wanted to take a cab and you were like, no, we're going to take the
bus.
Now my heart was, we should have a car, honestly. Why are we still on the bus? But I didn't come out and say that. I was just like, why are we taking the bus?
And again, going back to our theme, so you're standing in the bus. Meanwhile, there's a whole bunch of other married couples.
They all got in their car.
In our age group.
Right. They all got
good night.
Good night. They all got in their car.
And they're driving in their car.
And we're standing there with the kids at the bus stop. And I remember I complained. And I was like, why are we? And then the kids were like, yeah, Dad, why don't we just take a cab? It's going to cost the same. And
I remember that moment.
I felt bad because now the kids are complaining because I started it. But it all came out of our heart of all of our friends just got in their cars and drove off.
All of our marriages. So these marriages.
And they had kids.
And they had kids. In other words, they were our peers, but we felt in that way behind. I remember bumping into an old I think from high school. Was it a high school or middle school friend? And we just started talking. He was like, oh yeah, I live right over here. I bought this house, me and my wife, blah, blah, blah. And I remember something in me went,
just that deflation.
Right. I like deflated, like, dang, he already got a house already. I think he was only married like a few years like us. And I remember feeling so like, wah, 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 that kind of thing. And I think different people may have different ways that they rank their relationship. For us, I think the thing that got us was finances. For some people, and I think for some people, they look at their marriage or their spouse. It can be finances and career, like your husband or your wife ain't at the career they need to be, and you're like, what is this about? Which overlaps.
And I think the unhappiness comes because it's something you're comparing, and
there's a standard.
Right.
Set or
and then
not.
I guess I felt like critical now. Like, you need to fix it. You need to fix it. You can fix it, and you're just not fixing it.
Right.
And that criticalness in my heart creates an
That's
unhappiness that now I'm picking at you.
Right.
Instead of being grateful for you.
You're either picking at your spouse.
Right.
Or you're beating yourself up.
Or you're beating yourself
And look, this could be talking about the world of finances and career. This could be in physical looks.
Right, that's true.
When you compare your relationship and your spouse to others, this could be in the realm of you just look at another couple and they just look happier. I think especially now, the way people kind of put up a great front.
On Facebook.
Here is one thing I want to give you as a suggestion that you can try to kind of keep your mind and heart away from comparing and ranking. Very simple. Think of this as a simple gratitude journal. So individually, it'll be this. Try this suggestion. Every evening, it could be toward the evening, just before you go to sleep. It could be whatever time you feel is good, but you have a journal. And I'd like you to sit and reflect on two ideas. One, what is one quality in my husband or my wife that I really am grateful for? A quality of character, something that you see in them. That you think about your day, you may say something like, man, I was really grateful about how supportive my wife is. And then try and think of a specific moment why that stood out. And again, I don't care if it only happened for 10 minutes. Man, she really did help me with unpacking the groceries from the car. And I didn't even ask. Now you may say, what's that? But just catching those moments. Yep. One quality you're grateful for in your spouse. Thinking of that quality and then writing it down in a memory. Something that happened that day that makes you say that. My husband was very gentle with our daughter. I remember when he had that talk with her, she was really, really crying, and he got down at her level, and she immediately calmed down.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And just writing that moment down. And then secondly, what's one thing that we as a couple earned or something that we've been given? Either one. Some things in our marriage and in our relationship, God has just planted to us, right? We can't even say we did anything. Like at one point in our marriage, for example, we were given a full rented apartment of furniture, which we didn't expect. We were just expecting an apartment, right? We didn't earn that. But I think sometimes life does that. What is one thing today I'm really grateful for, past or present, that was just given, or that I earned? Something that you did roll up your sleeves and just do. Man, I earned this. I'm very grateful because I was able to fill the blank, fill the blank, fill the blank. Just those two questions a day. I'm grateful for something I've earned or something I've been given. Try that. It will improve your prayer life.
Yeah. And
it's a great way of taking your eyes off of comparing to others and being grateful for the relationship and life you have now. And until we see each other again,
this has been great.
This has been great.